Okay, so we're about to head out soon because we don't really want to stay in here because of the smell. The landing, the boards took a lot of sanding. Kind of like the way I got the pattern in there, almost like I meant to do that. Well, I did mean to do it. This kind of worked out well. Um, so that's the second coat on the treads. First coat on the stringers and the I had done the upper railing there before. um, so yeah, the stair is done finally. It'll need another coat, but I'm in no particular hurry for that. Very humid in here. Beginning of April. Um, some water bottles broke. Oh, my hair looks funny too. Some water bottles broke, or froze and broke, and it's with the rock in the basement being cold and all the humidity in here. But I found something that kind of makes everything better. So, because this isn't directly on anything, you can, remember there's heat, warm air blowing up through all those vents. It smells like it's being ironed actually when you're doing this. You do have to keep moving it a bit. Harder to do with one hand. Make sure it doesn't go back on the chimney either. And there you go, nice and warm and dry, thanks to the Kachelofen and the top. That's what it's supposed to be here, and this is what it's like here. So finally back up here again. I'm trying to dry everything out. It rained all day yesterday. It was overcast. This morning there was ice on the lake. Yeah, it was -2. I got up at 5:30. I tend to get tired and fall asleep early. Oh yeah, right, the chimney. Have somebody coming in to fix that. You can see that one piece ripped out. So what happened was everyone close to me said the ice storm missed us. So there wasn't a lot of damage. Well, that was there. That wasn't here. So what happened was we got snow, freezing rain, froze like, on the roof. And we got snow on top of that. And I think it probably got warm. So when it started sliding off, it was like a chunk and just ripped the screws out. Bent, the chimney's bent too. There, you can see that. See, the stream's running really well too. I just thought I'd kind of stick that in there. It was really, really running yesterday. Where am I losing it here? But it's probably going to dry up again. I don't know. So I have one solar panel there just to pick up a little bit more sun in the late day. You see the panels look a little funny. Well, 3 of them fell down, and we had our canoe underneath there. So it damaged our carbon fiber Kelvar canoe that's worth a lot of money. Also been turning this off overnight, except for last night. So 53.7. That's pretty good, and there'll be sun all day. Got the pump up to pump water up. I have the shower hooked up there. So all I have to do is put water in the tank. Pump. Came over to the tank. It gets cold at the oddest times up here. End of April. And look what I found. Finally, a hole went through to the bottom, probably because it rained all day yesterday. So it's dirty because I've been putting like wrecking bar and that, trying to chop a hole through so I could get water so I could use the shower. I connected this outdoor stove here, connect to that tea kettle and try and use hot water, but it's not going to work now because there's a hole. Yeah, because it's just going to mix. So I don't know what to do. Got to see about how to fix the canoe. And what else have I been doing up here? Okay, so got my generator working. Plugged it in. I used the 3-prong thing for trailers. It's supposed to be used for charging trailers because it gives out 30 amps. Connected it to the input on my SRNE inverter. I cannot understand the instructions for this stupid thing. Frankly, I think I should have gotten a European one or something and just spent more money, because this thing loses a lot of electricity overnight on standby. Anyways, when I turned the generator on, I got 0.1 amp. And so I turned the dehumidifier on, and then it was drawing from the generator, but it was also drawing power from the battery. So I switched off the batteries and ran the dehumidifier upstairs for a while. It puts heat in the room. Eventually, I think that my heating, a big part of my heating problem can just be solved by having a couple of dehumidifiers running in here, because it's well insulated. It puts a lot of heat in the air. I did an earlier video where 3/4 of an hour took the temperature from 18 degrees in one room to 24. So they throw a lot of heat. And it gets rid of the humidity, which we have a problem with here. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. So I think that's the only, other than figuring out the hot water, we may get a tankless propane here. Maybe both, maybe tankless propane and electric. This is what I've been, so what I came up here for was, turn the light on, to finish the pine. Now, insulate this with Safe and Sound. Rockwool Safe and Sound. One bag cost me $108. That was at Rona. I don't know if I can get it cheaper. I have two full pieces left and a little bit, and that won't finish that. So that's expensive. I think it's even more expensive than the pine. This wall here also has to be done. That's the bathroom. We want to have that nice and quiet. If you remember the other parts, I used the old leftover regular insulation, and then I had a bit left, but it was too thick. And Roxel's has a problem of it kind of tears apart easy. Um, so I just decided to buy this Safe and Sound. It's safe because Roxol doesn't burn. So, I mean, if you had the kitchen's behind that. If you had a fire in the kitchen, I haven't insulated the ceiling, but at least from wall to wall, it would offer some protection. The other thing is mice don't like it, and the big thing is the sound because pine airspace pine is especially like it's not tight, is going to let sound pass through. So we don't want that, especially when the grandchildren are up here sleeping and stuff. Now the other thing I did, okay, I don't like being itchy, and it's actually not very good for you, Roxol, like breathing it in and everything. So I had some leftover, what is that, 24-inch or 18-inch plastic. So I just put plastic in front because when I'm nailing with the air nailer, it blows a big strong puff of air every time you hit a nail or a nail goes in. So that just spreads this stuff around. And then last time, I noticed when I'm watching the videos that I'm coughing a lot doing that, and I have a bit of asthma. It's not really bad, but it can be bad enough. But so it's kind of, wearing I have a Tyvek suit and a mask that I wore to put this up, but you get hot in there. It's awkward. You end up taking it off, and then you're like back to where I was in the earlier videos where I'm coughing a lot. So this is gonna be very difficult. So I have the first two boards cut. I was gonna do more, but the second board is gonna need some planing, and trying to mess with it without it being nailed in wasn't worth it. This is gonna be really hard because it's when you fit them, there's going to be a gap because it's got to fit into the tongue at the top. The groove has to fit in it, so it drops down. So every time you're doing it, you're playing it and fit it, you drop it down, and you hope it's too long rather than too short. Because it's too short, and you got to start all over again. And my cuts have to be made. Oops. Okay, because of the angle of my saw, you can see where that yellow tape marks it. I have to adjust the angle. I have to make the cuts this way. So all those long pieces that I have, like this one here, I have to feed into the end and make a cut. Hopefully I have the angle fairly close, but what I do then is I kind of adjust it by hand plane until it fits half decent anyway. I don't like gaps everywhere. So that's about it. Oh yeah, I had to use my what is it, Hitachi Metabo, to nail like all along like 2x4s, just to attach like across the bottom there. And I did that yesterday, so it's lunchtime now, and so after lunch I don't know how far like I said, it's always hard getting started back into something again, so I think once I get going I'll be okay, and I can finish it next time I'm up. And then after that it's finishing the last few bits of pine, and then I got to do something with the closet up there. I left that out just in case I was short pine, because if I order it again and it's a different size, then it's not very good. So I think I'm gonna leave that access open there. And I've cut some I have, what did I say, 2 pieces of insulation. So I don't have enough insulation for that. I have to insulate that wall because it's the bathroom. And I have one piece of pine left. And a bunch of short pieces. Some of them aren't usable. So I'm glad I didn't do the closet, but I still ran short. So I left, I'm not going to do any more. I want to leave that one so I can finish doing around the top. Just so that the drywall can go ahead if I can't get the pine right away. I have to ask around where I can get it and when I can get it. Yeah, not very nice, but it is what it is. So yeah, next time I'm up here, I guess I'll get ready for, put those pieces up so it's ready for drywall, and then get some drywallers up here. But that's it for me. It's gonna clean up and lock everything up. And maybe next time I can do some sawing, maybe before the bugs come out. Beautiful day today. 22 degrees here. It's still cooler inside here, but I'm getting a lot of air exchange, getting a lot of moisture out of the air. And then I've got someone coming to repair the roof. I don't know if I showed this before, the chimney being bent, but you know what? I think it's that stand. Okay, there's an ice shield there that's supposed to deflect the snow that had ripped off. But really, I don't think it was a very good ice shield. But you see what happened is that standoff, that support, probably ripped off with the snow. And as it fell down, it pulled the chimney down with it. Because the other one that's almost straight back is kind of, I don't know, it's bent. But I think that was bent in the first place. I'm just wondering if those standoffs are a good idea, or at least put them behind the ice shield. Anyways, hopefully I can get a hold of them. It's hard sometimes to get people on the phone up here. They don't always have service. I'll try to get a hold of them and try and ask them if there's a better way of doing it. You would think that having them wide like that would be good, but you get enough snow packed around and grabs onto that thing and pulls it down. Chimney has kind of a cone around it. So maybe if just the chimney was protected, it wouldn't be an issue. Oh well, I'll ask him. So just a quick video. This is getting towards the end of May. Beautiful day outside. Really, really warm, like always. Got up here and the bugs are already around me. And black fly season. They're not too bad, but they're there. So you can't just go out and as it got warmer, they kind of bugged me a lot more. So as you can see, it's 27 outside and 18 inside, and I had to have a fire going when I first got up here. It was 5 nights up here, so my day 6. And I have windows open upstairs. I got to close because I don't want it to get too warm in here because it's like air conditioning. I want it to dry the air, and I'm pretty sure it's dry now. The only thing I really worked on, kind of didn't get the pine done, although the Sawyers says he's got some pine that he could get for me to finish. I said it's no hurry because I got to kind of get ready for drywall now, so I'm working in the laundry room here. Okay, so the idea is I insulated in behind that box there, and that's the bathroom on the other side. Obviously I want to insulate that, and I'm going to redo that plumbing. I'm going to have to test it before I close it up. Move these two, my battery boxes, one on top of the other. That wasn't easy. That was kind of like doing the sawmill, lifting it up a little bit, putting some boards underneath and lifting it up some more. So anyways, I got this up here. Unfortunately, I can't see. Oh wait, if I back up, 53.7. I have a plate for that. So I had to redo the wires here for the batteries. Cleaned up the wires going into the, those are the switch for the solar panels. Those are in there, that's the battery wires going in. So, and then this is the AC out, so it doesn't go to a switch, but there is a switch on the bottom here that I can shut off. It'll shut off this panel box. Now, I try to hook up a three-way. I don't like people watching me do this because I make mistakes, and I did. I had a 3-wire going here. As you can see, there's the red. The idea is that I don't have to come out of here with one box. See that's down. But I called my electrician up yesterday, and I guess if you go to a ground fault, so it goes ground fault and then it goes out here to outside where I have a receptacle outside. And then the other one was supposed to go into the basement for basement lights and the pump and everything else. He said you can't split the neutral, the white wire. Normally you can, because it's just all connected in the panel box, but he said you can't. Plus, I don't think that thing works because I got it working. I hooked it up properly, and then trusted the outside one. I don't know, it's an old one I had lying around. I don't know where I got it from, but I don't think it works because the outside one I got red lights, so I got to rewire that, but I'll do that next time. That plumbing is going to come out. I'm going to go, I was going to put the water heater here, but I think I've got lots of room in the basement, so I think I'm going to put something in the basement closer to the kitchen because that's where most of the hot water gets used. So I'm going to run those pipes straight down to the floor, run them across here to the laundry tub, then they'll run straight back along the floor into the bathroom. And like I said, before I close that up, I'm going to, even though my pump's not very strong, I should be able to tell if there's any leaks. You don't want to close that up and have it start leaking. I don't trust PEX. Well, I don't trust copper either, 100%. So, getting this set up. So that's more or less permanent. I'll insulate it and then drywall it. There's cement board behind the inverter, which they're supposed to be, in case I guess it gets hot or it has a fire in it or something. I don't know, but it said put cement board in the back, so I put cement board in the back. I have the switch for the solar panels hooked up nicely, and those cables going in. So I've cleaned it up pretty good. The battery boxes are probably going to move over here more directly underneath because the laundry tub's going to be in there, and then I'm going to get some counter in here, and hopefully the batteries will just sit underneath there. I'm not going to bury the battery wires though. I'm going to leave them exposed because they may have to add batteries. So far, like I'm at 53.8. I disconnected the fridge this morning. I probably should have done it last night. So the 6 solar panels up there outside should be enough. I've been up here for, like, this is the 6th day, 5 nights, and every day has been sunny. So the first day was only a little bit of sun, and I cook on an induction stove. So I made my meal, so that's just for one person. And then, TV and laptop. But it's still not fully charged. I think these batteries just have I made it sound before like it's like a wine bottle that kind of, as soon as you get up to the top, it fills up quick, but it's more like an hourglass almost. Like it just takes forever to get this middle part. Like each individual cell is at 3.34, and it really doesn't, like, it's supposed to go to 3.5, and it hovers around there forever. I mean, there's a lot of sunshine all day long on the solar panels. So it really ought to be getting, once it gets up to 3.4, then it fills up pretty rapidly after that. But I'm not even getting it close to that. So I'm going to stay here today and clean up a little bit, and then probably leave around lunchtime. See how much solar I get then. Shouldn't be an issue this time of year, but like I said, maybe more solar panels are going to be required, like on the roof of the cabin here. The sun hits there pretty early, and it's pretty intense for most of the day. So if I got some newer, more efficient solar panels put up there, like 8 or 9 or something like that, that should charge these batteries up a lot quicker. All right, that's it for now.